Welcome to Everyday Linux User. In today's video we are going to be making our Debian virtual machine so that you can run it full screen within VirtualBox. So you can see here I've got a few Debian instances now. So this Debian base is the one without any GUI or anything else installed. And this clone is the one from last time, so it's got the ICE Window Manager and OpenBox. And this one here is ICE Window Manager OpenBox, and it runs virtual machine full screen. So I'll show you that first so you can see where we're trying to get to. And as you can see, we're now in the ICE Window Manager full screen within Debian, and we're inside the virtual machine. Also in this video I'm going to show you how to install a couple of tools. So we've got the Firefox web browser, and I'll also show you how to install Thuna. Okay, so we're going to shut this down. So for people following along, if you want to know how to clone a virtual machine, all you have to do is click on the machine you want to clone, right click and then choose clone, and then you choose a name for it. So I'm going to call it Debian full screen. It asks you where you want to put it, so I've been putting it in my home folder. Probably not the best place, I'm probably running out of disk space to be honest. So call that there, and then when you click next it will say full clone or link clone, and you want to do a full clone. And you can see this is how long it's going to take to do that. So with that cloned, I'm now going to start the virtual machine. And as we left it, we've got the light DM. I'm going to log in, it's going to go into IceWM, and if I go full screen, you'll see it's only taken up a small portion of my screen. So I'm going to exit full screen. So the first thing we need to do is need to open a terminal. You can press Ctrl Alt and T, or right click and choose terminal. And we need to run a command now to install some software, and that is sudo apt install, and we want build essential. So it's build -essential dkms, and then you want to put Linux -headers $$ open uname -r. Now type in the password. Get the right one. Press yes, and then we're going to wait for that to install. So the next step is to go up to devices, and you're going to insert guest edition CD image. And because we've got no graphical tools on our system, what we need to do is mount the CD drive to the media folder. So if I go to CD media, you'll see there's a CD10. Do ls, there's nothing in there. So what we need to do is type lsblk, and what that tells us is what the name of our CD drive is. It's a virtual machine, so it says CD image, so it has to be a CD drive. So we know SDA is our hard disk. We can see that by the size. and you can see that there's a 60 megabyte ROM image under SR0. So we need to mount dev SR0 to media CD-ROM0, and what that's doing is loading the contents from the CD into that folder media CD-ROM0. You see it's write protected, but if we go to CD media CD-ROM0, you'll see there's now files in there. And what we need to do is type // this is the way you run a shell script, and so then you type vbox linux additions.run. And it says it has to be run with administrative privileges. So if we type sudo and 2 exclamation marks, what that does is it runs the previous command that you've just typed with sudo privileges. So you can see here it's now saying VirtualBox guest editions, the running kernel modules will not be replaced until systems restarted. So we need to reboot the computer, so we can do sudo reboot now. Now log in. And then we can do view full screen, and you can see we've now got full screen mode in our Debian virtual machine. So from now on we don't have to worry about that small screen anymore. Everything can be done on this big screen, and that's going to help us in our next episode where I'm going to customize this ICE window manager. Before we finish, let's install a couple of pieces of software. So Control-Alt-T to open a terminal, because we've got nothing else better than this at this moment in time. And the first thing we're going to do is install Firefox. So to list the possible applications, you can do sudo apt search and say I want Firefox, and do Firefox, and then I can have the pipe symbol, more, enter my password, and there you can see it lists all the potential things, and you press space to go through them all. So the thing we're going to install is Firefox ESR. So Q to quit out of that. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to type sudo apt install Firefox ESR. And that will be useful when we wanted to change things like background images and just generally browsing the web. So if I right click on the thing now, I can click on web browser and Firefox will start. And here we are at the Everyday Linux User YouTube page, and if you haven't already subscribed, please think about subscribing and hit the like button if you like this video. It helps other people find the channel. So one other piece of software that might be useful is a file manager. Now the one I like is called Thuna, which is part of XFCE desktop. You can pick any that you like, but I'm going to choose Thuna for this series. So sudo apt install, and if you type Thuna, it helps having a file manager when it comes to moving files around. Whilst it's easy to do in the terminal, sometimes it's easy to see things visually as well. So if I right click on the desktop now, it brings up the menu, and I can go to System, Core, and it's got a Thuna File Manager, and there we are, that loads. And so you could now see I can get to the VirtualBox guest editions there. It's worth saying we can now remove that, so if you go down to devices, optical drives, you can untick the VBox guest images like that. You could also have clicked that button there, but now that's gone, and you can see there's not much else in the PC. at all on this virtual machine. And there's one more piece of software I think would be useful, and that is a text editor of some kind. The one I'm going to choose is it's called LeafPad. I think it's called you have to type L3. It's LeafPad with a 3 in it. So hopefully now when I right click on here, I can go to Programs, Applications. Not quite sure where it'll put it, to be honest with you. Under Text Editor, Utility Text Editor. And there we go, we've got a nice Notepad application. So that's useful for people if you don't want to be using Nano. And that's really it for this tutorial. Next time we'll be customizing the IceWM window manager, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.